keep my vocal cords.
I,
Sonya,
you're having so much fun already, and I
so
haven't even
much
No, no,
fun.
not at all,
yet.
Sonia.
It's
Not at
so
all.
hard with this one. It was like this every day on set. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Will and Tina?
Really
It's
good.
a pleasure to meet you all. Oh my God.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, yes. So Will, I just want to say I am a fan.
Thank you.
From Think Like a Man, Ride Along. Oh my God, Night School. All
Come
you.
on now. I appreciate you. You know what all those have in common? They were
What?
not directed by Tina Gordon. Every one of the movies that you really like of mine weren't made with this woman, but
No,
that's okay.
he's a legend. It's
I
fine.
appreciate your fandom.
That's okay. I have to put that in there because you're so big. You do. But
Mm.
when I see your signature on any movie, I'm like, this is going to be incredible. And so when I saw Praise This, and I was like, okay, Will Packer, we're gonna see a different side of you on this one. So did you pull from your love for gospel music, church culture? Where did this come from? What did you draw from, pull from to make this movie happen?
You know what's interesting is actually I did grow up in the church, and a lot of people, because I haven't made a movie that was in the faith-based arena in a while, but one of my early films was called The Gospel, and it starred Idris Elba. It was his first movie coming off the wire that went to theaters, and I had amazing folks like Kirk Franklin and Yolanda Adams, Fred Hammond in that movie. But I hadn't done a faith-based movie in a while, and there's an amazing young exec named Antoine Jenkins, and he brought me this idea for a praise team competition movie. And I love competition movies, I love music movies, and I love that faith-based arena. And that is what I approached Tina with. I said, listen, I'd love to make a movie in this space. I want to make something that doesn't feel like a church movie. I was very specific about that because I wanted to have broad appeal. I wanted, whether you knew every Bible verse or didn't know one, I wanted there to be something for you in this movie. And I sent it to Tina, and she said yes and made it better, as she always does. But this is an area that I'm really, really interested in because I love telling stories. And this is a story that is steeped in something real. It's about finding your voice, finding your faith.
Wow, that's incredible. And
That was a
Tina,
good answer. They get worse from here, just so you know, because I feel like you're gonna ask Tina something, but that was your good answer. So just do the best you can with whatever comes next.
all right, Tina, and as I look at the I want to be in the room with you guys, like right there. But
Terrible. It's a toxic environment.
but Tina, when I look at the cast, of course, you have two rising gospel stars, Corinne Hawthorne and Jacqueline Carr, and you see someone like Chloe in the movie as well. How are you able to bring those cultures and those voices together? You know what I'm saying? To make it.
Yes. I think what my first choice was Chloe from the Jump Street. I love where she's positioned in the culture. She's bold, she's edgy, she's body positive, and I love meeting her in person. She's more reserved, vulnerable, sweet. And so I loved that duality about her. So bringing that voice into this world, I didn't want her to be the only amazing voice. I wanted to authentically represent the amazing singers that come out of the church. And so then I went to your Corinne Hawthorne, your Jacqueline Carr. I knew these voices would push Chloe and elevate the music overall to just be aspirational, not music that you could actually hear at your church on Sunday, but music that you're like, this is the ultimate version of a praise team. So that combination, I like to stay at that intersection of sinner, saint, ratchet, righteous, like wherever I can find that cross is where we like to stay. So surprising characters.
Wow. Well, I commend you both for this. I mean, I worked with gospel music for 20 plus years, and sometimes folks are very careful of merging culture with faith and church because they don't want to offend anyone.
Yes.
So how did you, without, going too far, how are you able to bring all of those together to appeal to a mass crowd, the faith community, the Main Street Society? How are you able to pull all those together?
I don't think you're ever going to have the right answer. Like church is not one person, right? Everybody has different boundaries, different taste levels, what they want. So I might do revisions on a script. I might have jokes that I think are funny, but that's the important thing of having collaborators. So you can put, someone can push back. Well, Will can say, maybe think about this, think about that. You can have Chuck Jenkins. We had many pastors, our singers in the movie are actual gospel singers. So we had different people weigh in if there was something that I was kind of like on the fence about. But in general, sometimes I try to push it a little bit to give everybody something to talk about.
You know, so one of the things I said to Tina early on was, if we're going to do this, if we don't piss off the traditional gospel church folks just a little bit.
Why would you tell the secret?
Just a little bit.
Why did you tell the secret? I did not want him to say that.
This is between me, you, and Sonya. I don't feel like she's going to tell anybody.
Okay.
I said, if we're not a little edgy, right, then we have missed an opportunity to reach the broadest audience, because you're right. There is that fear of, well, you don't do certain things when you're talking about church or when you're talking about gospel music. And I feel like, let's blow the doors off of that, because we're missing so many people by just being pigeonholed. And we all know there's no gatekeeper for faith or spirituality. There's no patent on connecting with God. We can all do that in our own ways. And so that was something we were going after, and especially that younger audience. A lot of them, the folks that look like Chloe and Quavo and Drewski, a lot of them feel like, well, church is not for me. It's not welcoming. It's not something I can relate to and identify with. So we said, we're going to meet you where you are. And Tina did an amazing job of putting together a film that spoke to that audience.
Wow, that's incredible. That was a really good answer.
That was a sermon.
And you mentioned Charles Jenkins, who's a great friend of mine. We did a lot of stuff here in Chicago, and he was a great choice for you guys to help sift through what music to choose for the movie. How did you go about that? Because I heard some classics, revamped. The music choices, did the cast have a role in that, or how did that work?
The praise teams are really early on. I was like struggling with sort of like the tone of the movie and where that edginess would fall. And one of the earliest choices was sort of making characters out of the praise teams. So you have prodigal brothers who are they're sexy. They don't mean to be, but they're alluring for Christ. The Promise Ringtones, girl group, prim, proper, champion life, muscular, high production value, well-funded church, our underdog church. So it was after I kind of figured out the personalities of the church, then it's a matter of sifting through tons of music and figuring out which songs match the personalities of each team. And so we had Harvey Mason, amazing producer. We had Derek Big Tank Thornton as my music supervisor. We had Chuck. And everybody weighed in, but it really came down to being true to the personalities of the teams.
Wow. And one thing I will say about Chuck Jenkins, because I love him dearly. He is a brother to me. We are both from the same hometown. He was the one that helped to keep us on the rails, so to speak, right?
Church.
He kept us church. Yeah, like when we would go a little too far, because these two over here, we probably would have pushed it maybe a little bit too far. Yes. We needed somebody like Pastor Chuck. He'll always be Pastor Chuck to me, who did help us to make sure that while we were trying to be a broad audience that would connect with a lot of people, we really were respectful and paying homage to the environment we were in, which is that church environment, which is that praise team world, which is a real world. So he was indispensable when it came to this.
He would be the downer sometimes, frankly.
Well, I'm glad he was a part of it. I'm excited about Praise This. I love how you made it fun, uplifting, inspiring, and welcoming for all to enjoy. So we're going to continue to push this movie, Praise This. I was dancing, I was singing, I was shouting, and I was like, let's do this.
Come on now.
That's
what
great.
We wanted. That's mission accomplished there.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Spread the word.
Well, and Tina, appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
God bless.
Okay.